morning, brothers and sisters. How are y'all this morning, man? You know what? I know it's Tuesday, and I know my usual spiel on the terrible Tuesdays. But I'll be honest, for some reason it doesn't feel like Tuesday today. It feels like Monday again. So I guess I'm still selling in on the weekend juices. But I hope you guys are having a great day. You know what? It feels like Tuesday a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It's still Tuesday. But I'm glad to be here with you guys this morning. Hope you are doing well. Right before I was in here, I was hanging out over at Ghetto's stream. Man, Ghetto, you have good streams, but I just want you to know that I listen to your streams a lot. I know I'm not in the chat all the time, but I be listening, y'all. Man, y'all have some good discussions. Appreciate all you guys. Um, let's see who we got in here this morning. Jerry, good morning. Mojo, man, I see you, brother, and I got my coffee. I'm ready for the reload. Archangel, what's going on with you, brother? Rockadoodle Farm, what's up? Rockadoodle, rockadoodle. Yard Dog, what's going on, man? Good morning, good morning. I'm a Huckleberry. What's up, what's up? Backwoods and Prepping, my brother. Good morning, man. Milk May, good morning. I just want y'all to know, if you guys who don't live in the Eastern time zone, if you guys who are always in the chat here this morning, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are some early birds or some night owls, give or take. If you're on the West Coast, it's only like what, 3:30 in the morning. Let's see. Big Mama Steph, good morning. Bug out. Good morning, sis. I tell you what, it is gonna be a great day, guys. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Good things are gonna happen for you guys. I hope y'all believe that. All Slender Info, good morning or good evening to you, sir. Good to see you, man. Raised by Rangers. Good to see you. Good to see you. I saw you over in Ghetto's chat. Southern Fried Prepper, what's up, man? Good morning. There's Ghetto. There's the man with the plan. Ohio, you were over there chilling too. Fine Kino, good morning. Good morning. Ghetto Raid. Oh, snap. In between prepping, Nikki was there on the panel chilling. Let's see who else we got this morning. Hillbilly Homesteader. Good morning, my brother. I got your email, man. That video is crazy. I might do something on it too. Appreciate you hooking me up with that. Do stuff with Nikki. Good morning, sis. Good to see you. Tiger, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. We the people, my brother. Good morning. Probably already at work. Candle, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you, my sis. Roots, Rocks, and Feathers. Good morning. Good morning. Fauci owns a huge part of the Moderna vax, and the CDC owns vax patents. So why should we be forced on government say so? I agree 100%. We're going to get deep into that today, man. I've been following the whole mandate thing as it's been going through the different courts and seeing which courts uphold it and which overturn it. And I think we all knew it was going to get there. We all knew it was going to get to the Supreme Court. It's interesting to see the different arguments that our Supreme Court justices made, because you can see who are the activist judges that are just shields for the establishment, and the ones who are actually doing their job, which is to uphold the Constitution, But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. William, good morning. Dusty, what's going on, brother? Prepping Manus, what's going on? What's going on? Dusty, man, you got some beautiful German Shepherds, brother. I used to have two. I had a male and a female, Sarge and Angel. Sarge is the best dog I ever had in my life, man. Out of about 50 dogs. And I've had a lot of great dogs, but he was the best dog, the smartest dog I ever had. The compassion and love and empathy that this dog had, it was, and his intelligence was mind-blowing. Angel, she was smart, but she was sneaky, man. Like there was just, I don't know, she didn't trust people. She didn't like to be petted or touched. And she wound up chasing a deer into the woods, and we never saw her again. But anyway, I digress. I'll talk about German Shepherds and dogs all day. Before we get into the stuff with the Supreme Court, I wanted to share something this morning from the prepper community. I got the notifications yesterday from both of these brothers. Art Wildman Survival has a challenge going where you light a candle, Pharaoh rod, and I thought it was really cool. He does a lot of cool stuff, man, with making fire. He does his Fired Up Fridays, and then Ragnarok took the challenge, and then he took it further too. So anyway, I got a little clip of Arc Wildman. I think it would be really cool if we did this. I'm gonna show you guys the challenge. I'm gonna show you a part of Ragnarok's, and I did mine last night. It was pretty cool. Backwoods, appreciate you, brother. Welcome to the Brave Nation, man. I got something big coming up for the Brave Nation members. I know you guys hadn't heard from me in a while, so I got something really, really different. I've changed up everything. So look forward to that soon. Small Homestead. Hey, sis, good to see you this morning. Good morning to you. Hope you and the family are doing well. Man, shout out to Small Homestead, man. A long time ago, she sent me a package to our PO box, and it had some of her personal seed collection, man. Heirloom seeds too. Her and G2 hooked me up. This was in 2020 when for some reason there was a seed shortage in 2020. I don't know if y'all remember that. And I was freaking out because I was almost out of all my heirloom seeds. The container I had in my greenhouse, the chickens got in the greenhouse and knocked it over and ate almost every one of my seeds. And Small Homestead and G2 heard me talk about it, and they hooked me up, man. That's what I'm talking about with this community. Serbian, good morning. Stars in the house. And Bioxo. Good morning, good morning. But anyway, I want to show this little video. If you guys have a channel, you know, or if you just want a video, everyone on YouTube has a channel. But if you've never made a video, it's a good way to get started. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to talk in it. But I just thought it'd be cool if you guys want to do the challenge, you know, with us. And if you want to, you hit me up in the comments and let me know you made a video, and I'll go clip it and I'll feature you this week. We can continue on the challenge, you know, this week and next week on the morning reload. I think it'd be very cool, something we could do. But anyway, let me show the little clip. It's Arc Wildman, beginning of his, show exactly what the challenge is. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And then Ragnarok's answer.
Welcome to another Arkansas Wildman survival. Lighting a candle with a ferro rod challenge. And if anyone wants to do it, just tag me in the video. Almost had it. There we go.
Hail and greetings. Ragnarok Prepper here. Arc Wildman, challenge accepted.
Now, it's not easy as it looks, man. If you look at their candles, you can see the filings from where they've been practicing, and you'll see it in mine. I made a little video last night of my part of the challenge, but I liked it because it's not like if something happens in the shift, if the power of the grid goes down, we're going to be lighting candles with our ferro rods. We'd probably light something easier and then light the candle. But I liked it because it's good practice for using for learning the proper way to hold your ferro rod. Now on Art Wildman's video, like the whole thing, like I clipped it to make it shorter, but it only took him like a minute to light it. That dude's good with his ferro rod. You know, if you want to see if Ragnarok completed the challenge, you have to go to his channel and finish his video. But they use tea lights, and after about 10 minutes of me trying last night, I was regretting not doing mine with the tea light, but I'm so stubborn I didn't want to give up. But this is my part to the challenge. Yeah, I used a scented candle. My tea lights are in the bottom of a bin, and I didn't feel like digging them out. Now this is the little Zippo ferro rod setup that Dusty sent me when I run one property. One of the things, man, Dusty, you changed my whole freaking fire setup, man. I want you to know I use it all the time. I appreciate everything. Y'all just don't know the struggle, man. This ain't the first video I made. I did this for 10 minutes. I almost gave up and I was going to rage quit. But I went out and tried it one more time. I had to speed it up, man. It takes a long time. You can do it, man. You can do it. Y'all hear that freaking airplane going over my house last night? Like right over it. You can do it. You can do it. Don't give up. Don't quit. Come on, man. You got this. You got this. Finally. Wore that sucker down, man. The end. But yeah, guys, I encourage everyone to try this, man. It's not easy. It's hard. You'll get frustrated. You'll rage quit and throw the candle. But anyway, if you guys do it, let me know. Hit me up in the comments of this video, this stream, and I'll feature you like every day if somebody sends me. But right, I thought about that, man. I was like, nah, I can't cheat, man. Ark Wild Man didn't cheat. So yeah, if you guys do it, do hashtag Ark Wild Man Survival or do @ Ark Wild Man Survival, so it'll hit him up and let him know you're doing it. Yeah, ain't that cool, man? It's good practice too with your ferro rod. I'm gonna tell you, man. Like I've practiced with my ferro rod on all kinds of things that'll light easy, but lighting a freaking wick on a candle, I don't know how he thinks of these things, man. But that dude did it, man. Ark Wild Man's video, shoot, man, he's right on top of it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all this morning because y'all know, I know everyone who watches this aren't preppers or homesteaders or farmers or stuff like that, and that's cool. But I am, and I'm going to share, the preparedness lifestyle because that's what I'm all about. But anyway, we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. So I want to talk about the Supreme Court, but I do want to give a quick update on Chicago. Yesterday, I showed you the teachers union there in Chicago that rage quitted and left because they didn't feel safe because Omicron was going around and giving people sniffles and cough and headaches, and the teachers didn't feel safe. So Lori Lightfoot yesterday, I saw this, and this was her answer to them.
What the Chicago Teachers Union did was an illegal walkout. They abandoned their posts and they abandoned kids and their families. We are working diligently every single day at the bargaining table to narrow the differences and to get a deal done. My team has been working every single day. They're back at it again here Sunday. They were at it yesterday. And we can get a deal done if there's goodwill on both sides. But fundamentally, what we cannot do is abandon the science. We know that the safest place for kids to be is in-person learning in schools.
I guess she's a libertarian now because we've been saying this all along, man, for over a year. Welcome to our side, but not really. I don't believe a word you say. I believe the teachers union and her are in cahoots, and they're nothing more than controlled opposition. So she can come on TV and look like she cares about our kids in our schools all of a sudden. They're shills. I don't believe you, Lori Lightfoot. We see you. We see you, Beetlejuice. We see you, what you're doing. We don't believe. See, all these shills and all the establishment shills are seeing how important the whole school issue is to us Americans, us parents. That's what Youngkin ran on in Virginia, and that's how he won. They know 2022 is coming up. They know that they got to change their messaging. But Lori, don't believe a word that comes out your mouth, lady. You're all about some teachers unions. Don't be lying to us. Meanwhile, in Seattle, they're doing this.
My new brother Joseph.
Yeah.
Y'all are a mess, man. I sit here reading y'all's comments about Lori Lightfoot. Y'all are hilarious. Yeah, man, up in Seattle in the Northwest. Good for y'all, man. Y'all protesting. I hear you. And you know what? their right to protest this stuff. It's unconstitutional, and that's why it's in the Supreme Court. And that's what I wanted to get into. We're going to start with Sonia Sotomayor. You know her. She's one of Obama's appointees. She's an activist judge and nothing more. And she actually says really dumb stuff. You could tell they're always trying to stretch to make an argument, you know, but none of their arguments include the Constitution. So the Constitution is clear. The Supreme Court, it is their job to do nothing but uphold what the Constitution says. If they think it needs to say something else, they recommend it to the legislature. They're the one that pass laws, not the Supreme Court. It's not their job to do that. If something is constitutional, they uphold it. If it's unconstitutional, then they shoot it down and they say, this isn't constitutional. We're sending it back to the legislature, the lawmakers. Y'all need to change this, you know, but these activist judges, man, that's not what they want. That's not what they're there to do. FSP, what's up, man? Tom, good morning to you. Silver Girl, good morning. So anyway, Sonia Sotomayor, now she makes this argument. She says since the states, their law enforcement agencies have the right to uphold, you know, public health and stuff like that, then the federal government should have the exact same powers. Not true. That's not what the Constitution says, right? So let's turn her argument. See if you can make any sense to it.
If it's within the police power to protect the health and welfare of workers, you seem to be saying the states can do it, but you're saying the federal government can't, even though it's facing the same crisis in interstate commerce that states are facing within their own borders. I am not sure I understand the distinction why the states would have the power, but the federal government wouldn't.
Because that's not what the Constitution says, you know. And if you think it should say that, that's okay. That's within the purview of the Supreme Court justices, but they don't have the right to make that a law. It has to go to Congress. Congress, they are the lawmakers. They're the ones who debate and legislate and write laws. You know, it's just the way our government works. And if it works the way it's supposed to, it's good. It's a good way for it to work. We don't want our Supreme Court justices just making laws from the bench. There's 9 people in the Supreme Court who are not voted on to go there. They're appointees. They're lifelong appointees. We don't want you making laws. That's dangerous for us, for the regular people of America. The 10th Amendment says the powers not mentioned in the Constitution that aren't given to the federal government are given to or they're left to the states and the people, you know. So that's why each state, each local government makes their own law as their little communities need to, you know, as the states need to, as their people decide. They vote people that have let their own little legislatures. So whatever the Constitution is to cover, each state has the right to make their own laws, right? She's saying because states have the right to do that, the federal government has the right to do whatever the states do. Okay, but only as the Constitution says so, and only as Congress passes laws to do so. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be giving a freaking lecture on the Constitution. I just study a lot, man. I have a lot of books on the Constitution, and there's I think our children should be learning the Constitution from kindergarten all the way through high school. By the time our kids graduate high school, they should be experts in the Constitution. Every American citizen should be an expert in our Constitution, because it doesn't take deep study, man. It's very simple to understand our Constitution, and I think it's been a part of the establishment's ploy in indoctrinating our children to make sure they don't understand the Constitution when they graduate high school. She also said this, and okay, she said something about, because they're debating the mandates, and she said there's 100,000 children in hospitals right now with COVID on ventilators. And Rochelle Walensky was asked by Brett Baer to basically debunk her, because that's not true. That's not what the numbers of the CDC. The CDC and the WHO put out numbers on this stuff all the time. And that's what we need to follow, right, YouTube? But check out Rochelle Walensky, how she stumbles, man. She does not want to admit. Watch how she changes. She doesn't answer the question. She just keeps rambling on about vaccines.
We just heard about the U.S. Supreme Court currently deciding the fate of the president's vaccine mandates. In the questioning, Justice Sonia Sotomayor made this statement.
We have over 100,000 children with which we've never had before, in serious condition, and many on ventilators.
Now, we can find from Friday suggests there are fewer than 3,500 current pediatric hospitalizations from COVID-19. Is that true?
Yeah, but, here's what I can tell you about our pediatric hospitalizations now. First of all, the vast majority of children who are in the hospital are unvaccinated. And for those children who are not eligible for vaccination, we do know that they are most likely to get sick with COVID if their family members aren't vaccinated. So the most important thing we can do for those children to keep them out of the hospital is to vaccinate them and to vaccinate their family members around them.
Understood. But the number's not 100,000. It's roughly 3,500. In hospitals now.
Yeah. See, she didn't address it. She tried to talk around it to make it sound like they were there, and what they needed to be was vaccinated so they'd be safe. He asked her a bunch of questions. I kid you not, and I clipped all of it, and I was like, she's just saying the same thing. She kept saying that same spiel about getting kids vaccinated over and over and over, and but that's not the question she was asked, because the numbers are there's about 3,500 kids. So, and the vast majority of them, I think it was like 96% of them had comorbidities. Like they were already compromised immune systems, kids with like cystic fibrosis and stuff like that. So that's why they were hospitalized. Any cold would have sent them there. So, yeah, so that was Sonia Sotomayor. I don't know where she got that number, 100,000 kids. I don't know if she just pulled it out of her colon or what, man. But Rich Mountains, good morning. Good to see you. They sure are. But anyway, going on, all these activist judges. Sonia Sotomayor, she's an activist. That's why she's there. That's why she was appointed there, to be an activist judge as a part of our Supreme Court, to fight anything that was unconstitutional that went to the Supreme Court. She's there to uphold it. Anything that is constitutional, she's there to be against it. That's her role. That's her job, to be an activist, to try to legislate from the bench as much as possible, just like Ruth Bader Ginsburg did when she was there. But anyway, you got this lady, the other justice, Elena Kagan, another activist judge. Now, notice they never mention the Constitution or cite any of the articles from the Constitution or any of the amendments when they make these arguments. Listen to her freaking argument.
Why isn't this necessary to abate a grave risk? This is a pandemic in which nearly 1 million people have died. It is by far the greatest public health danger that this country has faced in the last century. More and more people are dying every day. More and more people are getting sick every day. I don't mean to be dramatic here. I'm just sort of stating facts. And this is the policy that is most geared to stopping all this.
Is it though? What about other public health risks? Are we going to make mandates on this? If you uphold this, lady, if you uphold this unconstitutional mandate, all right, where is it in? What's next? 3 million die of alcohol abuse every year. 3 million people. Are we going to mandate? We're going to go back to prohibition? Make medical mandates based on public health. That's what you're arguing here. 10 million die of cancer. What kind of cancer mandates are we going to make? We're gonna mandate that people stop doing things to give them cancer, tobacco products, drinking from a water hose, eating hot dogs, and the long list of other weird things that are supposedly cause cancer. We're going to mandate that you don't do that anymore. 17 million die of heart disease. We're going to mandate a certain amount of exercise and no more fatty foods. Where does it end with the medical mandates, man? She's not making a constitutional argument, is the point, which is what her job is. These activist judges, it's all political, man. It's all political. Justice Breyer, another political activist.
750,000 new cases yesterday. That's 10 times as many as when OSHA put this rule in. Is that what you're doing now, to say it's in the public interest in this situation to stop this vaccination rule with nearly 1 million new cases every day? I mean, to me, I would find that unbelievable.
Well, I mean, he kind of undercuts his argument too as he's talking. they talk about the cases, you know, and the mainstream media does this. Oh, look how many cases there are. Okay, but how many deaths and how many hospitalizations are there? But he undercuts his whole thing with the mandates, you know. I'm not going to say what does or doesn't work because, you know, YouTube's just foaming at the mouth to strike me. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, he does undercut his argument, though. I mean, you guys know how he does. He's talking about if the mandates work, then he mentions all the cases and whatnot. So, but it's all political. It's all about, you know, being an activist judge. Now, there are, of course, that's just 3 voices. Okay. The other 6 are given constitutional arguments. You can tell some of them are trying to walk the line and still be political, but I think they see the way the winds are blowing. The Supreme Court has no real teeth anymore. You know, there's no power, basically. Like, look at what the legislative branch can do. They control the purse strings. They're the one who decide who gets what funding. That's a lot of power for government agencies. You know, they also have the Capitol Police now, the Gestapo, which is getting ready to expand, but that's another string. You know, and of course, the executive branch has all kinds of powers, but the judicial branch, their only power is the Constitution and people's belief in the Constitution. So I've always felt like for the past few decades, they make decisions based on what public opinion is. And I just showed you, they're freaking protesting this mandate in Seattle, Washington, man. So I think it's going to go that way anyway, just based on that. But here's Samuel Alito.
I'm not saying the vaccines are unsafe. I'm not contesting that in any way. There is a risk, right? Has OSHA ever imposed any other safety regulation that imposes some extra risk on the employee?
That's a good point. He's saying, has OSHA ever done anything like this before, where there was a risk to one of their mandates? Like, OSHA is actually a decent agency. They make sure working spaces are safe for us, right? You got to wear a hard hat. You know, I deliver to place. I have to keep a hard hat in all of our trucks because there's certain places we go to deliver to. If you get out of that truck, you have to have a hard hat on, and that's OSHA. But there's no risk to me wearing a hard hat. If I put a hard hat on, it's not going to give me cancer, you know, or change my menstrual cycle. Y'all been seeing that in the news. Anyway, same thing like with asbestos. You can't have asbestos in your buildings and stuff, you know. Taking asbestos out, there's no risk to that, right? Leaving it in, there's a huge risk. So he makes a good argument. Has OSHA ever done anything like this before where there was a risk involved, where you're mandating something that could possibly hurt someone? That's a good argument. And let's see, Justice Amy Coney Barrett. I have to say, I'm very impressed with Amy Coney Barrett just because she's a constitutionalist. And she makes decisions and rulings just based on what the Constitution says. She makes a decent argument here.
When does the emergency end? I mean, a lot of this argument has been about Congress's failure to act. 2 years from now, do we have any reason to think that COVID will be gone or that new variants might not be emerging? And when must OSHA actually resort to its regular authority and go through notice and comment and not simply be kind of doing it in this quick way, which doesn't afford people the voice in the process that they're otherwise entitled to?
Yeah, see, she's like, when does it end? What is the limiting factor for this mandate? If we uphold this ruling and this mandate goes into effect for the entire country, when does it end? And where does it end? Like we were talking about earlier, how does this not lead to other medical mandates and get even more and more dangerous? So they're making arguments. And like I said, I think they're going to overturn it just because it's not constitutional. If they uphold this unconstitutional thing, like I said, they know which way the winds are blowing, and that's what the Supreme Court does. You know, so, but anyway, I think it's important that we pay attention to what's going on in the judicial branch. Guys, y'all know me. I'm already totally black-pilled. I don't think anything's going to save this current system. It's too corrupt from the ground up. I really don't. I think it's going to continue to wither and to die no matter what happens in these next elections. Even if we get really good America First people in there, I think eventually it's just going to, you know, it's going to whittle away. And the people who are pulling the strings behind everything, call them what you want to, deep state, bad players, bad actors, Illuminati, reptilians, whatever you believe is going on behind the scenes, they're going to continue their plan that's been going on for at least a century. We're going to fight back all we got to, but I'm totally black pilled on this whole thing. But anyway, but you know what is underlying all this stuff, man, and it kind of ties into all of this, is the propaganda, right? They've been fear mongering and pushing this for 2 years. We're in year 3 now. Omicron hits. Thank God for Omicron, because it's destroying all their narrative. Because everyone's getting it. They really are. Every day, people around me are getting sick. And the first thing they do is they get tested. Now, anybody gets sick, you're going to go get tested, and those tests aren't reliable. We know that. You could be totally healthy and be positive, but it just kills me. I mean, why would you go get tested if you're not sick? You know what I mean? If you've got a fever, if you're coughing and sneezing, just shooting mucus everywhere, yeah, go get a test, see what you got. But anyway, getting back to the propaganda machine, and they know it, man. They know no one's listening to them anymore. You guys got to watch this. Watch the potato himself. They're I don't know if they're just liars and they're lying to themselves also, or if they have no clue. Check them out.
That's in the Reliable Sources newsletter. Here's a big, overly broad question for you, okay? Is the media at this point out of touch with the public about COVID?
I think it's hard to argue that, the media is a large group of people, but a lot of the media does seem, when I look at it and then travel the country, to be very out of touch with people. I mean, if you travel the country, people are not really living in the same bubble that it seems that most of the media is messaging toward. And so, I think this is an issue, because if people are tuning out what's going on in cable news, if we're not messaging toward the general population, they're just, ignoring everything and living their lives, and we're not really getting the information that they need to them.
Bruh.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, I couldn't work in a cubicle all day like that. I really couldn't. I would flip out like that on a daily basis. But yeah, man, they're totally. He's like, he even said it. He's like, most people out there in America, they're not living in the bubble that's created by most of the media. No, duh, man. So we've been screaming for years. You guys live in the bubble. You create the bubble. And he said, people out there just living their lives. No shit, Sherlock. Excuse my French. Because it's ridiculous. And they're seeing it. That's why CNN is dying, man. I think their viewership in their prime time slot is under 100,000. That's nothing. That's worse than like a cable outlet or something. That they suck. So, but yeah, man, it's the propaganda machine's dying, which is good for everybody. I keep wondering how they're going to revitalize their propaganda machine, which has totally been destroyed. Donald Trump threw a wrench in it. He really did. He broke the propaganda machine, and they're all dying. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens leading up to 2022, to see how they get their messages across to the majority of us who have been red-pilled and black-pilled. You know what I mean? So anyway. Yeah, right. They have to admit the numbers, absolutely. And you're right, man, that they've shot them own selves in the foot with their messaging and stuff. That's what they get for fear mongering for 2 years. We're going into the 3rd year of this thing, and everyone's getting it, whether you're double or triple jabs, but anyway, I digress. But I just wanted to hit you guys up on the Supreme Court today, because I think it's important when something goes before the Supreme Court that affects the entire country. It's important for us to know what's going on and to know what our justices are saying and who's on our side, or at least on the side of the Constitution, I should say, and actually doing their job, and who are just shields, so. I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it. I really don't. I don't know if Trump was in it from the beginning and his ego just got the better of him. I think maybe he was supposed to be the controlled opposition for Hillary, so she could get in, because the numbers were showing that at least half of America hated Hillary and didn't want her there. So they chose someone on the Republican side who they thought was a boob that could just run and be a landslide for Hillary. And I don't know. I remember when they first announced it, everyone laughed. And Trump's a narcissist, and his ego got the problem. He's like, I'm gonna show all of them. And he won, and he just overturned their entire plan. Maybe for spite, or maybe he's genuine. We don't know. He's part of the billionaire class, and he's been hobnobbing with these people his whole life. So hard to know, right? It's hard to know. All I know is we're here, we're red pilled, we're black pilled, and we're fighting back. But I have a new outro for you guys. Looks like we're out of time this morning. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. I hope you guys do the video for Ark Wildman Survivals Challenge, and let me know, man, so I can feature it every morning here for the rest of the week and in the next week too, if you guys want to keep it going. Like I said, I thought it was a really cool little challenge, and it's not easy, man. Even if you try it for like an hour and you can't do it, take a video, man. We'll still feature it. But anyway, hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I'll see you guys around. Let's change the culture and be prepared.
The end.